up, virtual people? Welcome to episode 37 of VCR Redux, where we take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2021. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles. I guess I should change that to 2022, by the way. I'm joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink. And
how you doing, everybody?
Two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, our own honorary third host from Rick Barth and the Line. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mickey Torres is on the show.
Hey. What up, everyone?
And rounding out this righteous crew, he's the sole creative force behind the upcoming Still Fabulous podcast. Bobby Masters on the show.
Bobby! Hey.
Thank you so much for coming back on, dudes. We gathered here today to get some new suits, but the only place to get a new suit got the flu. You hear that? The whole store got the flu.
That is so relevant today. That is so relevant.
Very fucking, prescient of the film to predict that. So instead of getting new suits, let's talk about the greatest
COVID. The what?
The COVID. You hear that? The whole store got coronavirus. You hear that? They got the virus.
They got the flu Rona.
So let's talk about the greatest legal comedy ever made, My Cousin Vinny. But before we can resurrect the great Gambini, we need to talk about how he came into our lives and what we love about it. So we'll start with Bobby, but that also goes for you guys watching at home. Hit us up in the live chat with your My Cousin Vinny memories. So Bobby, how did Vinny find you first? We talking VHS, cable, theaters, laser?
I want to say probably like cable on like USA back in the late 90s or something.
Yes.
That is a great way to watch any movie, especially in the late 90s.
I could go and see it in theaters. What was that, 1992? I was still in diapers at the time.
Shut up, Bobby.
Making us all feel old in many, many ways.
Showing my age there.
Sophomore year in high school.
I loved it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like the casting. I'm a big Marissa Tomei fan, so I did love to see her in that role.
Oh, it's perfection. I mean, that's pretty much like the one that no matter what else she does, I feel, and she's done incredible body of work, but it's always going to come back to Mona Lisa Vito.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It's just one of those defining roles. And there's even a lot of people that played roles kind of like that in the 10-year like run up to the film, but like none of them put that stamp on it like she did. Mickey, do you remember the first time this must have been a double date for you at the theater? I'm guessing.
I mean, it was my sophomore year in high school that came out, so I don't know. I actually had a girlfriend at that time, so. But no,
you didn't waste money on her. It's like, once you got the goose.
I had a girlfriend then. Nobody cares about.
No, I'm taking her out and buying her fucking milk. She's my cow.
I mean, of course I would take her out. I took her out all the time, but I'm just saying. This was definitely cable for me. I definitely saw this on HBO or something like that.
Okay, right on. Yeah. Oh, I should have. That's the other best guess with you is that it's an HBO night.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like I feel like I kind of like didn't even know this movie existed until like I saw it. I randomly saw it on cable or whatever it case may be. Because you gotta remember,
I didn't search it out either. It just showed up on my television screen one day.
Because you gotta remember, like Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei weren't really like. I mean, like I knew Ralph Macchio.
But they didn't even really promote when the movie came out. Like, this is a Ralph Macchio movie.
Exactly.
So it was like, this is a Joe Pesci movie.
And then later, I mean, like the first like Joe Pesci movie that I could really remember watching was probably Goodfellas.
Oh, damn it.
I mean, other than Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, for me, I think Lethal Weapon was probably the first thing that put Pesci on my radar. I mean, even though when somehow I knew who he was when he showed up in Lethal Weapon, actually. So I don't know, it must have been something else.
I mean, like there's a Home Alone.
I mean, I watched Lethal Weapon before Home Alone, though.
Yeah,
Home Alone is how I like see him, and like how there's some actors who you see they've done everything, but you're just like, oh, they're that character.
I always see him as the mob guy. I always see him as The mob guy.
I see him as
Yeah,
the
you muttering,
bandit.
stuttering, fucking prick, yeah.
Dance, spider dance.
Yeah,
I
well,
see him
that's
as
I
the
think we
wet
all do
bandit.
that. You all do that, like with when it's with a certain actor, where it's your movie that's what you know them from. So for me, it was like, yeah, it wasn't Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter. It wasn't the Rocky Horror Picture guy. For me, he was the Clue guy. So
Oh, yeah.
I watch it, and it's like, oh, it's a Clue guy, or Home Alone 2. Oh, it's a Clue guy. Like that's
The Clue guy. That's so good. Clue is
Yeah.
such a fucking underrated movie.
I love that movie.
Oh, it's
Love
the
that
best,
movie.
The best.
And it's actually directed by the director of My Cousin
Who did
Vinny.
this? Yeah,
Yes,
Jonathan
and-
Lynn.
Yes, that's right.
Who
Jonathan Lynn.
also did another underrated movie called Greedy.
Yes!
A Michael
Oh,
J.
thank you.
Fox movie
Yes.
that gets no credit on the internet. You stupid internet trolls, get the respect to Greedy that movie deserves. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. A rare agreement where I want to walk through the screen and give you a hug. That is just a fantastic, when else are you going to get Michael J. Fox doing Jimmy Durante?
Oh my gosh. Freaking
Phil Hartman, the cast is deep.
Phil
Olivia
Hartman,
D'Abo,
yeah.
Joyce fucking Heiser is in the film. The film's
Yep.
perfect. Nancy Travis, everyone's great in the movie. But getting back to this great Jonathan Lynn movie, I remember seeing this in theaters as a little kid, and I don't think I had any awareness that Ralph Macchio was going to be in the movie. But then, like, seeing him, like, oh, Ralph Macchio, oh, cool, this is going to be a good movie. And then, like getting disappointed at first, realizing, oh no, this is a Joe Pesci movie. Ralph Macchio's not in this that much. He's not.
Yeah.
And I just like remember kind of like my brain couldn't. I was like, why isn't Ralph Macchio the star of the movie? Like, what's going on? Like, and it sort of almost took
Because
me
the
out of it.
Karate Kid part I bombed.
Well, it opened up against the likes of like Tim Burton's Batman and
Yeah.
Last Crusade, a bunch of 89 was a tough competition year. If you released Karate Kid 3 in 88.
Yeah, where's that documentary? I want
The
the
Summer of
documentary
89?
of the summer of
Yeah.
89, because that
We'll
was
do it.
rough. That was
Yeah.
that was like Studio Wars. going
Yeah, that
on.
was like
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2 and Back to the Future 2 and like
Mhm.
all dude, there was Parenthood, Major League, like it was deep, Field of Dreams, and so many like even if you just liked baseball movies, it was like the biggest year ever made.
I almost feel like 89 was like the finale, grand finale of fireworks display. It was
That
just like,
the
oh,
80s, yeah. The
it's like,
decadent finish, yeah.
Yep.
All the movies, go.
Yeah, and then look at the summer of 90. It's like nowhere near as fire as the summer of 89. I can't even think of what like the big summer movie was. Total Recall, I think, in 90.
90, yeah.
I think it would have been that. And in the town that I grew up in, Total Recall sat in the theater for a year until the summer of 91 when T2 came out. It was slim pickings at the Catlow in Barrington, Illinois. But again, getting back to My Cousin Vinny, I do want to touch on the chat because that's what the people here came to talk about. Our friend Alex Bonafonte is in the chat. How's everybody doing? He also asks, what is a grit? Which is a good way for us to segue. Had any of you had grits, or have any of you had grits at this point?
Oh, they're the
Your life.
worst.
No,
Do you like grits? No.
No. Oh God,
Biggie,
no.
You haven't had them?
nope,
I have
never.
not had them either.
I am here to tell
Disgusting.
you folks, grits are delicious. I think they're amazing. I've had shrimp and grits many times, courtesy of Drewby's Grill Pub, and it's pretty fantastic. But that's the only grits I've ever had, so I'm down to try more. But it does make for quite a comedy scene in the movie, and it makes for great, you don't realize you're getting exposition when he's telling you about the grit, and you don't realize that's gonna come and pay back
Yeah,
later.
it takes 20
know,
minutes.
And when it takes the entire grit making world 20 minutes to make grits. I'm a fast cook, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. You told me you're a fast cook? Did you just say that? So
That
good.
man would have been in contempt of court and arrested within day one of the real. But I will say
Oh
this:
yeah.
I've had friends in the past who have been lawyers and in law school, and this is true. Law professors will actually show My Cousin Vinny for its accuracy in classrooms. They don't
Yeah,
show
I'm
John
sure.
Grisham. They don't show The Firm. They don't show any of that stuff, but they will show My Cousin Vinny. And I've always
'cause
found
it's
that
like
fascinating.
everything not to do. It's a great guide of like everything not to do at first, but then everything
No.
to do right at the end.
Well, and speaking of Jonathan Lynn, I mean, I remember listening to a podcast he did with the great Gilbert Gottfried, and he talked about doing the movie, and that was his whole thing. He said, "I want to make a courtroom drama that's real. Like, I want lawyers to watch it and not go, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
No, that's not true." He said we fubbed a little bit on a few things, but for the most part, we had lawyers look over it and they're like, yeah, that's how you would do it. That's how you would introduce it. Yeah, yes, it's extreme, but you can introduce evidence this way. You can call your girlfriend to the stand if she's a valuable, witness and stuff like that. So, I mean, the movie is accurate for its legality. My Cousin Vinny is a great movie for if you're going to be a law person, watch this movie.
It's also, I think partially just because it's a good movie and people love it too.
Oh yeah,
like I think Tommy Boy. I remember I took a sales class when I was in high school, and the teacher was like, "Everyone go home and watch Tommy Boy. It's a fantastic movie that tells you what selling's all about. It's all about just getting under someone's, getting a connection going and blah blah blah." Like, okay, well, I think you just really like Tommy Boy.
Tommy want wingy.
Yeah, like that's how you sell chicken wings, right? Let's talk about this guarantee.
It doesn't matter if we have the used Pizza Hut in the backseat of our trunk.
But there is this similar spirit to Tommy Boy and My Cousin Vinny, and that the one character you think is never going to get it together and figure it out, of course, gets it together and figures it out with flying colors, which folks at home is called a character arc. No,
those playing the home game.
Will's playing the home game. But I do want to touch on the chat again. Dustin Nino, our good friend from Retrofiend Radio, says this was a VHS family night. I just wanted Ralph Macchio to kick someone in the face. That's music to my ears. That's what I wanted. I was like, just one crane kick, something, please. You even got the Mighty Ducks villain here. But this was, of course, pre-Mighty Ducks.
He reminded me of Pony Boy in this one.
Really?
Just because...
You mean, or Johnny Cade?
No, because he was the Outsiders.
Yeah, but he didn't play Pony Boy in the Outsiders. He played Johnny Cade.
I got it wrong. Yeah, Johnny Cade. Cool. He reminded me of him.
Oh, okay.
Just the way he was playing.
Interesting. It was still it was still kind of seeing like Karate Kid 3 Ralph Macchio a little bit. Like he was
I can see
I
that.
love Ralph, but he had like this kind of like chubby phase a little bit, or like puffy, like he was sort of like the baby face still before he kind of like sort of became more of like man chiseled.
Well, I remember that too, watching it, kind of going, why is he in this movie? Like I was kind of the same boat. I was young enough not to understand the realities of filmmaking in Hollywood, and just he went down the tiers just a little bit, trajectory wise. But at the same time, I thought he was great in the movie. He was perfect. His character works in this movie.
Yeah, he really does. And you just like have to appreciate, you have to be a little bit older to appreciate that, like, oh no, he's a great supporting actor in this film. And he really sells, Joe Pesci better than Joe Pesci sells himself to the audience. When you watch it now, he's like, he was just being the quintessential Gambini. He was like Alakazam's worst nightmare. He's like, no, he's palming it. Or there's a split in the car and there's a mirror under the table. And, like that scene makes you start to like, okay, maybe this guy's got something.
What's funny is like, the setup of just basically the how they land in jail, and, basically Ralph Macchio, like, sarcastically, admitting that he did the crime. Like when he says like, I shot the guy.
I shot the clerk.
Yeah.
When did you shoot the clerk? I shot the clerk. Yes. Why? Whoa. He said, I've seen in an interview where, we said that was the hardest line. Yeah, where he's like, that took a couple takes for me to say it. Like, it's not a question, but it is a question. It was weird. But that is, for sure.
That is interesting. Wow.
But
I guess that is hard. That is a hard line to deliver.
Yeah, but definitely one you remember about the movie. Also in the chat, our friend Devin Zane. Hey everybody, thank you all for being here. Good to see y'all here and healthy. Thank you, Devin. Appreciate the kind wishes. Also, mashup geniuses Angie Saunders and Mike Saunders in there with a howdy y'all and a hello everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Alex Bonafonte says writing down this character arc stuff, and Staunch TV is in the house. Our good buddy Adan Gonzalez. Again, the best 90s nostalgia channel on YouTube. If you like movies like My Cousin Vinny, definitely have to check out Staunch TV. He says, hey, so what up, buddy? Good to see you tuning in. Thank you so much. Where else would, there's a lot of to like unpack about this movie. Lane Smith, I believe, is the name of the actor who plays the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Also, and the actor's name escapes me, who plays the cop. He's also in Time Cop. He's got the mustache. He's the one asking him, asking Ralph Macchio, "You shot the clerk." I forget his name, but he's a great. He's one of those actors I'm always happy to see.
Bruce McGill.
Bruce McGill. Thank you.
And
Bruce
the
McGill's
public
fantastic.
defender. The public defender.
Oh, Austin Pendleton.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of the
yeah.
greatest character actors of all time.
He is amazing.
I love that guy.
And he actually stutters. That's the most interesting part. As an actor, he actually had to overcome that stuttering.
Oh wow.
And Jonathan Lynn, he's like one of those, like he's always in every Jonathan Lynn movie kind of thing.
Okay.
And Jonathan Lynn knew that and was like, "Hey, can you stutter? Can you do that again?" And so he had to like unlearn his stuttering process and how he to start doing that. So he's actually stuttering for real in those scenes.
Really? That's a hefty stutter.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I think Jonathan Lynn said then it took him a few months again to go back into like speech therapy to undo that.
Oh my God.
That's
right?
brutal.
Like that's hardcore as an actor. Like that's Oscar. Like you can get all
method acting. Damn.
Yeah, you can get all fatsies if you want with eating all the food, but do that. Like that's jacked up.
That's like, to me, what real acting is, though. It's the people that go to extreme lengths to make like a small role, essentially a cameo role, like totally classic and unforgettable. That's the difference between like, someone gets like a pie in the face in the 90s. You could have cast anybody for that, and then someone who takes that kind of role and owns it.
But the funny thing about it, like when he comes on the, in the trial and he's doing his whole stuttering and everything else like that, he does come out with a few valid arguments, but then he's so nervous and that he just like ends there.
Yeah.
Like when he does like the opening like monologue, or the not monologue, but the opening
opening statement.
Yeah, opening statement. Like he makes more sense than Pesci.
Right.
Obviously.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until
Mickey, don't act like you've never been in jail before. Knock it off. Like you don't know what an opening statement is. Get out of here.
Never been in jail.
Thank
God.
Mickey's way too smooth and squeaky clean for all that stuff.
You are a smooth criminal.
Yeah.
Also in the chat from Staunch TV, I love how they lie to the judge straight up and get away with it. Total mistrial. In which way do they lie to the judge though? That's the one thing I'm not sure about. I mean, I just watched the film, but that part, let me know exactly what you mean by that, because I'm curious.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bobby, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
That was escaping me too, so I need to refresh.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But did you guys have like a favorite line or a favorite scene, favorite cross-examination maybe?
The one that I've always, I mean, it's cheesy to say the two Youts. I know that's cheesy because everybody's gonna say that one. But I loved Austin Pendleton in this movie. Like that scene is because again, knowing the backstory of what he had to do, I just can watch that scene over and over again. Like, I mean, the whole movie of My Cousin Vinny is great, but God bless YouTube to just give me those 3 minutes that some guy dedicated to put on there for me to watch that scene when I just want to watch that scene. Remember back in the day when you had to actually like pop in the damn VHS if you really wanted to watch that scene and you just fast forward to where it had to go? or you just left it at that scene. It's like, I'm not going to rewatch the whole movie. I just want to watch that 3-minute scene, you know? Pulp Fiction was always at the end storyline.
I love when he starts to like, when he originally starts to question the witnesses, like at their homes and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then when he goes to the court and he's showing the one dude, he's like, the pictures. Like, he's like, what's that brown stuff there? He's like, dirt.
Mud.
Yeah. He's like, what's this? A screen. And then he just like,
yeah, don't be afraid. Like, just say it when you know the answer. Like, just shout it out.
He says, so you were able to see these
through
two
this
gentlemen.
cruddy screen, this dirty, rusty window, these big trees, and all these bushes here. And how many is that? 7? Don't forget this one and this one. 9 bushes with all thousands of little leaves. Oh yeah, that is great.
And then when he does the old lady too with the glasses, when he goes
like,
that's
great. Can you hold this?
Oh yeah, that's the first scene that like connected with me when I was a little kid and I watched it. I was like, okay, like now I kind of like this movie. I see where it's going. Like I was like, that what it took for me to get over Macchio not being the star of the film. But I also like little things that I love that just ring true to me. Like, oh, Stan, I've heard your parents fight. They're amateurs. Like, that's something that I just feel like, man, like that I can relate to that a little bit.
Or when Stan comes, like, Joe Pesci comes into the jail and he walks into the cell and it's the first time Stan meets him.
It's so good.
And he's like,
I didn't get that at all as a kid.
I know, but like now I was rewatching it and I'm like, oh yeah.
Hey, it's your ass, not mine.
You're gonna get fucked either way.
All right, something, just forget about it. I'll wake up Sleep Beauty, start with him then. Oh man, so good. The other thing, the one for me is a lot of it's the Marissa Tomei stuff. Like right out of the gate, like, yeah, like you're famous for your mud. Like, how's your Chinese food? Like, I told you, stop asking about Chinese food.
Chinese food here is terrible. Oh yeah, you blend.
I mean, I'm a man. Like, I could shoot a fucking deer.
I mean, he was nice. He invited me over to look at the files. What a nice guy, Oh yeah. Guess what he had to do.
But the scene where they're talking about the fucking torque on the dish, on the sink, like, are you sure? Like, yes. How can you be so sure? Because a split second right before I applied the exact correct amount of pressure, feet torque. I see I'm fucking it up. But like it was calibrated by top NASA scientists to be dead on balls accurate. Dead on balls accurate. It's an industry term.
Look, I think we need to get the elephant out of the room here. She deserved that Oscar. I don't care what people say. She deserved that. And it might have been somebody else. Jack Palance might have read it wrong. Like, it's not the first time in the Oscars, but you know what? She was great in this movie.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
No question. I mean, the 90s, like Mickey said, the party was over after 89. So like we were happy to take whatever we could get for a couple of years for the 90s to figure itself out. It was really just like the 80s part 2. But like not as good for a couple of years. And I love the 90s. I'm a 90s nut, especially the early 90s shit. But like that's what I love about it, is like the awkwardness of it. So the fanny packs, the neon, the hyper colors, the acid wash jeans, like that stuff stuck. The big shoulder pads, that shit stuck around for a couple of years.
Oh, I had the bull buzz cut. Straight up 93. It was buzzed down here, rocked it solid on top. I looked like a king from 1784, kind of haircut. It was great.
Well, I had every bad 90s fashion trend you could get. I mean, like no fear t-shirts and just like Jinko jeans, you know what I mean?
God.
Jinko jeans, you
Jinkos.
bastard. Oh.
Did you have the chain wallet?
Oh, I had the chain wallet. I think it was a no fear chain wallet. Even. Like
Mickey had frost. Don't act like you didn't.
The chain wallet? Oh, I had
No,
the
you
chain.
no, you had frost in the hair. Don't act like.
Oh, I had every color you can imagine.
Yeah.
I had the white tips, purple tips, red
Oh my
tips.
God. I guess we should be thankful we didn't get like a late 90s My Cousin Vinny sequel because it would have had all those things in it. You know?
Pretty
Like,
much, yeah.
It would have been like him defending, like, well, at this point it's not that bad, but like an inline skater, a rollerblader.
Well, I will say we have to also mention Fred Gwynne, which I mean,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
nothing is ever going to beat his portrayal in Pet Cemetery. I stand by that. That's his best role. You can say
The
Herman Munster.
monsters. The monsters.
Yeah, but no, when he says sometimes dead is better in that main accent, heaven. But
You're
he is
overlooking
great in
his
this.
role as Donald Davenport in the beautiful Secret of My Success
Yes.
from 1987.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's
role.
right. He was in that.
He's the business tycoon. And we do have an update, and I'm sorry to cut you off. The Staunch TV about the credentials, about the lying to the judge. That he kept getting called in about his credentials. The judge asked him to go to his quarters, etc., all the way up to the end. Yeah. No, that's true. That part is like the bullshittiest part of the whole movie. That's the one you really have to suspend.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go back to jail. Like, oh, your lawyer wasn't credited. Yeah, go back. Yeah. Jail, Klink.
Did I say Jerry Gallo? Jerry Gallo's dead.
Gallo, Callo. I would honestly give the edge to this. I love him in Pet Cemetery. Fantastic, but I don't know if he's the reason I love that movie, and not say that he's the reason I love My Cousin Vinny, but he's one of them. And I couldn't imagine anyone else playing the judge in this film.
Oh yeah,
and
I mean, to me, like movie wise, this is his best role.
Yeah, he just has a way of like being quietly annoyed and embarrassed at playing those two emotions together really well.
Yeah.
The best is when Pesci comes in a tuxedo.
Oh my God, yes. That's why I wore my red shirt today. I was hoping it would go with the new suit I was gonna get. But yeah, no, I wore this ridiculous thing for you. I'm holding you in contempt of court.
That's a fucking surprise.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Yeah.
What I say?
Yeah, and then you see the judge looks like a little embarrassed,
Yeah, like I
has
didn't
this,
hear it.
Yeah, like, oh shit, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. There was some more in the chat again. Dustin Nino again from Retrofiend Radio, makers of the finest canon and martial arts documentaries on the internet. Dustin says, anyone else have the CD Vincent LaGuardia Gambini sings to you? That would be awesome. I would definitely pay top dollar for that CD. Also, new name in the chat, Henrik Roderick. What's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Says Vass F Tech. I have no idea what that means. Maybe it has something to do with the cars, like the timing ignition on the bullshit trick question part. And now Alex Bonafonte says Metallica shirt and black jeans. I guess now we're just getting on to 90s fashion stuff. Which is cool.
So I had that too. My Metallica and Justice for All t-shirt, black jeans.
Is there anything we haven't talked about before we get into our sequel pitches? From the original film.
I know every time they tried to sleep, they found a new reason why they couldn't.
That's true. That's true. That was pretty classic. I
always
love
wondered. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say that the shot of the owl, when the owl is like right up at the lens,
yeah,
and like the turning of the head, like that shit, that owl deserves a fucking Oscar. That owl's a really good actor. I don't know how many takes it took, but man, they got a perfect one.
I love when he goes after the guy, like when Marissa Tomei goes like, "Oh, I got stiffed." Wait a minute, you got stiffed? And he goes to the pool hall and he
negotiation.
The negotiation. It's like, how about this? I kick your ass. I get the $200. And then it's just like he keeps going back.
A counter offer. We lawyers. I'm a lawyer. We call that a counter offer.
How do I know? How do I know that's not a lot of money, monopoly money wrapped in a couple of dollar bills?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Show it to me. Fan it out. I'll get your money, Yankee.
And then at the end, when he's like running late to get to court or whatever the case may be, and he comes out of the car, he's like, "Hey, I got you $200." But he does it like he doesn't even do it like a normal guy would just like kind of punch or whatever like that, because he's so short. He literally just like flies like sideways. It's like it's basically like a a body press. It's like,
It really is ridiculous. But yeah, I love that whole, he's also trying to like get the guy with the neck brace. Like, did you fall at your place or at someone else's? Like at work? Like, oh shit, or my place or whatever it's got all that going on. And like, let me see this, get this straight here. On the one hand, I kick your ass and I collect $200. On the other hand, I get my ass kicked. This is tough. I got to think about this. To be very honest with you, I could use a good ass kicking. But nah, I think I'm going with option B. Kicking your ass and collecting $200. So fucking good.
Let's just do a Psycho remake of My Cousin Vinny with Chris Stiles. That's what I say.
nice.
Shot for shot. No, I wish.
Shot for shot remake.
Only Pesci can be Pesci. No, there's, like whenever they do those memes that are like, take a movie and leave one person in it and then recast the entire movie with Muppets and try and make it a better movie. It works every time as long as the one person is Joe Pesci. It's the only actor that works with.
I would love to see Kermit the Frog as Ray Liotta in Goodfellas.
Right?
Fucking Janice could do whatever she wants to do.
I would love to see
Miss Piggy slamming on the door. I know you're there, whore.
Exactly, right? Oh, it'd be brilliant. Fucking the Super. Are you kidding me? Like everyone in the apartment building was a Muppet. That would be amazing.
Super.
And then like he comes over and like dances to MC Hammer with them and shit.
I don't remember who else was in the Super. Was Lorraine Bracco in the Super? No.
Oh my god. I just want Fozzie the Bear in a vice grip with Joe Pesci beating him up. Waka waka, eye pops out.
Oh my god, so good, so good. So we are into the second half hour of the show. It is our time to start pitching My Cousin Vinny sequels or prequels or whatever way we want to continue this amazing franchise. Who wants to fire the first shot? Does anyone have a hot take? Anything that you gotta see in another My Cousin Vinny film?
Well, the easiest, and like, I mean, it might be like lazy, but I still would love to see, like, he was so successful. He learned basically how to lawyer in Alabama. I want him to open up a practice in Alabama. And I would love to see like all the like locals going to him and whatever like that. And like, Marissa Tomei becomes like the lawyer secretary or whatever like that, helps him out, like, figure this out. But they run a practice. They get married, obviously, and they stay in Alabama. And they do like their own practice there.
See, I thought about that. See, mine would, though, it wasn't going to be a film, though. To me, it would be a series.
Serious?
Like I really thought My Cousin Vinny was one of those, like, we made a movie, now let's make a TV show of it. And the same thing where
I could see that.
The only problem is it is kind of a one note, it's the one note joke kind of.
Yeah, like New York guy, fish out of water.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, can you last multiple seasons with that premise?
Night Court?
Well, that's the thing. But Night Court in itself was, crazy. Get a bunch of crazy people, basically put cheers in a courtroom.
Yeah.
Where My Cousin Vinny, though, you have to really rely on that actor like Joe Pesci to carry the entire series. Can you really do that? Yeah, it wouldn't be that cheer scenario. Then. It would be, it'd be a totally, it'd be like a Lucy show or something like that. It's the Joe Pesci show.
Well, it's all about Marissa Tomei for me. And
yeah.
If and at first my temptation is honestly to think like maybe you could do a spinoff with just her somehow. Then obviously it's not My Cousin Vinny anymore. It's My Cousin Vinny's wife,
You know what?
Mona
Yeah.
Lisa Vito.
Why the fart do we have another Sex in the City damn show? Give me Marissa Tomei's character in a lead show. I'll watch that one.
Or
Oh my
you could
God, it'd
have
be
you could have
amazing.
them as partners. You could have them as partners. Like she goes to law school, so that's a
Yeah.
part of it too. Like
And then
they get
she becomes like a judge, even,
oh,
she's Judge Vito.
that would be interesting.
That would be very interesting. And like, I would watch that show right now if like you're telling me Judge Judy was retiring and Marissa Tomei's taking over as Mona Lisa Vito. Like, I would watch the fuck out of that show.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you did
Just
like
I'll watch the fuck out of that show. I'm already on board.
Right?
You'd bring the Marvel fans already. I mean, she did the smart
Yeah.
move playing Aunt
Got
whatever.
Yeah. Aunt Tomei.
Aunt Tomei, it's just
I will just say they've gotten like crazy in like the how do I even want to put it? Like when the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire came out, Aunt May was like, okay, she's Ma Kent. I get it, right? She's old,
yeah,
sweet old lady.
She's in her 90s. Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, Sally Field is Aunt May. I was like, really? She's a bit young. But like, I guess, whatever. You need a name like, who doesn't love Sally Field? Okay. And it's like Marissa Tomei is Aunt May. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like next year, it's gonna be like Megan Fox is Aunt May.
hot ants are in.
Yeah, right. And then Diane Lane got cast as Ma Kent, and I'm like, what's happening? She's way too hot to be Ma Kent. Like,
Yeah.
they gotta put her in all kinds of like, gray hair wigs and shit. Like they gotta try and make her look
no
like,
makeup.
yeah, no makeup at all, and it's like, nah, it's not working. She's still Diane Lane. She's too fine. She can't be Ma Kent. Get out of here. But we're always glad to see Diane Lane and Marissa Tomei, so not complaining. Just ranting. Interesting thought in the chat. Alex Bonafante says he thinks the original is sacred. No sequels, por favor. To which I can't disagree. Which is why we're just doing this on our show for fun and to keep you guys entertained and to think maybe there is an angle, even though it seems like it should be left alone. Maybe there is more on the table here. I think that there is always a way to continue something respectfully, and Cobra Kai is a testament to that. But we'll be talking about that on Saturday. So
what if you made
too much into that?
What if like Ralph Macchio's character is so like inspired by Vinny that he goes to law school too, and he becomes a lawyer. So you could have the family. It's like a family business.
So that could be true. Yeah, the Gambini,
yeah,
family of lawyers.
Well, I would say if it was it wouldn't work as a sitcom. Like the thing that it would work is nowadays with the single camera comedies. My Cousin Vinny, because imagine like an Office style shoot of a show with that scenario where it's they're all lawyers now, and you do have Ralph Macchio, you do have Joe Pesci, and you do have Marissa Tomei, and they all have their different things. You can get some really good funny stuff out of it. I mean, Boston Legal proved that.
Almost like Arrested Development, kind of, maybe.
Yeah, you can have that scenario, but I do agree though. Like I said, like with Mickey, I do think the southern, the fish out of fresh, the fish out of water thing. Joe Pesci has got to be in a weird element. I also think we haven't had this in years, but another way is the traveling lawyer.
Oh yeah.
He travels. He keeps wandering state to state. Gets new license.
It's like Kung Fu, but with
kind of I mean,
Pesci.
like Joe.
He's writing legal injustices everywhere he goes.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of funny.
Or basically, like they're going to get married. Him and Marissa Tomei. So they go to another town or something like that, and they're gonna get married or whatever the case may be. And just so happens that something happens. And these kids are like, oh my God, we need a lawyer, this and that, whatever I got. And,
there
like,
you are. Yeah.
I'm a lawyer.
That's
and then their
potential.
wedding has to be postponed until the end of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good. I like that for sure. And I like the idea that they still haven't gotten married. It's been 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
my fucking niece's granddaughter's getting married. My biological clock is ticking like this.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be classic. Yeah, I've given it, little bits of thoughts here and there. Other than the whole Judge Vito thing, which like I just need in my life. I think it would be funny if say you did the Judge Vito concept, and I'm just kind of like, it's all top of the dome here. So you took the Judge Vito concept and like you had it so maybe they didn't get married before they broke up or whatever, and his lawyer, Vinny's career never really took off the way you would expect it to. He became like the bottom rung for legal options in New York City. He's ambulance chaser, this and that, whatever. And he winds up in Judge Vito's court with like the biggest case of his life, or his chance to get back, in the spotlight or something. Like maybe there's some drama there, and then maybe they do get back together at the end of the movie, or they finally get married, or something.
It's a very 90s thing of them to do, to get back together at the end of the movie.
Very 90s thing. Is that what you're saying?
And the funny thing
true.
about it is, since she's a judge, she can marry them, so she could conduct the service herself.
And she though?
Oh, that would be great. That would be awesome.
Oh, but how funny would it be if those two
in a
were
court of
lawyers?
love? Oh, that's the shitty tagline title.
How funny would it be if they were lawyers against each side?
Oh,
that would be great too. Yeah,
that could be interesting. Like, so they're fighting in court all the time, and you get a judge. A judge has to deal with those two arguing all the time because they just got divorced.
Oh, so the movie is actually about their divorce trial?
Yes. Like, how great would that be? And they're defending themselves in court. Oh my god.
Oh, that could be interesting. And then through the course of the movie, they fall back in love.
Oh, and it's like, they do the whole...
It's like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but they're awake.
Yes. It's like they're battling each other, and they bring up, you bring up funny people that are in their defense court. They bring the mechanic from the shop, and they're both.
It'd be great too. You could have all these flashbacks throughout their like 30-year marriage, and that would be his
Eternal Sunshine, but they're awake for it because they're telling the stories while they're awake.
Yeah.
And then they're, what's the word? Like, they're requiting their love again while telling the stories.
Yeah.
Reconciling.
Yeah. And their passion for arguing with each other, reignites their passion for loving each other. That's definitely got a lot of potential. I was thinking you could have these flashbacks, and they could have adult children now, children that'd be about 20 to 25-ish probably.
And it's okay. We know on Netflix how to de-age them. We're good. Like we got Joe Pesci's programs already in there. It's all good.
Joe Pesci, first of all, was de-aging himself the old school way in all of his movies in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
he's always wearing a wig. He's always wearing a wig, and he always had his shit taped back to be like real tight. If you look at his eyes in almost any movie where
yes.
He's got like no bags under his eyes because it's like, it's kind of peeled back a little bit. And we love you, Joe. We know you're watching. Come on the show sometime. He admits to doing it, by the way. We're not making fun of him. He like talked about doing that on like Letterman and shit to prove to Scorsese he could still play these young roles back in the 80s. But so that's what, that's the old school de-aging way. It always still works on Pesci. It's not even that you need that much de-aging. I think you do half of it with makeup and a wig for some of these flashback scenes. But I think you would get, because My Cousin Vinny has some 90s nostalgia, I think you could get some 90s nostalgia in the flashbacks, right? Like he's taking his kid to like a sports game, and they're both wearing starter jackets and shit, like Zuba pants, and they just like look ridiculous.
Starter jackets, you.
Well, even when like he was in the woods, when they were in the woods, and he slips on the mud, and he has his like white like Nikes on and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just like the references, like I told you to take him to a Spice Girls concert, you took him to a strip joint. Like I thought it's the same thing. It's all I didn't know. Like fucking Spice Girls. I thought you were crazy, but you thought it was real important.
I'm down for a Spice Girls reference in any film or show. Bring on.
Who could be the judge though? Because you have to have that third person. Like I see the poster already. You got that great Fred Gwynne, but
what if that is the public defender guy? Is he still alive?
Lane
no,
Smith,
Lane Smith I think passed away.
Oh no, you mean Austin Pendleton, the public defender?
Yeah,
he's still alive, I think, right?
Damn it, that would be hilarious.
That would be really funny. Yeah, because he'd be incapable of stopping them from just going off.
Yeah,
you know?
Gosh, I'm trying to think who would be a good. Because you have to, the judge has to be kind of serious. So you got to have that serious actor who does comedy well.
Yeah.
Is it going to be an older actor or a younger actor?
It could be either or. You know, like, but
is it going to be a man or a woman? Like it could go
either or.
It could go either or. I think. You know.
Yeah.
Like you just want someone with strength. You know?
Wanda. Like I love Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes.
Oh
is
yeah,
hilarious.
Great.
And she would not. And she would be a perfect New Yorker judge. I think. You know, like that
would be great.
If the setting was in New York, yeah.
Yeah, if the setting was New York,
money.
You know, she would be like, "Excuse me," slam, you know, like slam the thing, and they would Joe Pesci her get into great fights. Like that would be take my money right there.
Yeah, that's definitely take my money situation.
Vinny bag of donuts. Vinny bag of donuts.
We do have some pitches in the chat. Dustin Nino from Retrofiend Radio says, yeah, I'd say pitch the 30-minute series called Vincent LaGuardia Gambini Defends You, which again does sound interesting, the kung fu of law. Alex Bonafonte says, Marissa Tomei and the Wrestler steals my dead heart. Angie Saunders says no sequel unless it has Ralph. To which I agree, you have to get Ralph Macchio cameo in there for sure.
But that's why I said like maybe the whole family's lawyers,
which could be interesting. And you know, I tend to pitch family reunions a lot in these VCR Redux episodes, so you know I'll try not to fall back on that old hat.
Well, that came to that I came with that. So.
Right. But I'll try not to just piggyback on yours with that is what I mean. But also in the chat, Alex Bonafonte says the recent Perry Mason revival was great. I highly recommend. I guess I don't know. I'm not a Perry Mason guy. I didn't watch the original or the new one, so I don't know if you say that in terms of like that's how you reboot something. But he also says Joe Pesci
is a good example. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He also says Joe Pesci does like VCR Redux. Which I have to agree, hopefully.
Oh man, I would love for him to do like a lawyer commercial. Like, you know, have you been, accused of murder?
Yeah.
Oh,
if you or a loved one suffer complications from one of them transvaginal meshes there, if so, give me a call.
That's the perfect way to open the movie, right? Yeah. Credits start and it's a TV commercial. You just go, or this would be even funny. You know, theaters now, they'll do like the commercials before the movie starts.
Right.
Yeah.
Have him do a commercial in that, kind of like Tropic Thunder, where it just leads into the movie.
That would be good.
That would be funny to me, you know.
I could definitely get into that.
Or that'd be a great trailer too. Just
I would think it would be a good trailer if it was like a commercial like that, just for the trailer itself.
Yeah,
that's true.
And then the second part is Marissa Tomei's character being like, have you ever been married to a hopeless jackass? You know, like
yeah.
You know,
that would be good. Yeah. That last fucking ad you saw, he's full of shit. Don't believe a word this guy says. All right. If you want sound legal advice, you come with Vito and Associates.
It's all bullshit. All bullshit.
Yeah. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit ass trick question shit over there. He doesn't even have any good Chinese food.
I used to dress him.
He was worried about what kind of fucking pants he wore when he shot a fucking deer.
Oh my gosh, that would be great. That's perfect. I'm telling you, that's the scenario right there.
Well, we're done 10 minutes early then. Close up shop.
No.
No, I'm joking. Also, we see in the chat our buddy Sean Gold of Gold's Code says, sorry I'm late, Your Honor. I had to get a new suit. That is okay. We won't hold you in contempt as long as it's made out of leather and not cloth. Says the grits weren't ready, and no self-respecting Southerner makes instant grits. Alex
Ugh.
Bonafonte, oh, that's it. Alex Bonafonte's holding him in contempt. So they're running off on their own little tangent there. But
Your Honor,
Alex
I hold myself in contempt.
This
You're
whole
out
fucking-
of order.
Oh, you know who would be an interesting judge or an interesting other lawyer in the family, though? Andrew Dice Clay. I mean, come on, the man is classic.
That
you
would
know,
be awesome.
He would be a good
man,
judge.
I thought you were gonna go with Al because I was doing all Injustice for All.
Yeah, I was
Al
thinking because
Pacino-
Andrew Dice Clay does impressions from And Justice for All, so that's where my mind made
does
the
it?
jump.
Oh, because
Yeah.
like Al Pacino today, the weird Al Pacino, the long-haired, every
Yeah.
other movie Al Pacino
Yeah.
could
That's a
be
weird
funny.
Al Pacino.
Well, there's the serious Al Pacino, and then there's the one that does this over here where he's like Phil Spector, and he's and then it's like take the Jack and Jill Al Pacino and put him as the judge against Marissa Tomei and Joe Pesci. That could be kind of fun too.
That could be interesting. Another thought I had was maybe the Gambini family is really big and they're all over New York, and maybe it's a couple people in the Gambini family that are in a different kind of family and they're a little connected or whatever.
Yeah.
They like half of a wise guy type, and maybe he's always running some kind of scams and selling scalp tickets out of his van, like low rent shit, but he gets busted for something really big that he didn't do, but they're gonna bust him up in some kind of RICO suit, and
he gets framed.
Yeah.
He gets framed.
He gets framed, exactly.
I almost feel like
Pesci,
I almost feel like what we're pitching right now is like a mashup between Devil's Advocate, My Blue Heaven, and My Cousin Vinny.
Well, we'll try and amp up the My Cousin Vinny knob a little bit.
As long as Steve Martin does not show up in that horrible mafia accent that he has throughout that whole damn movie. Oh my
I'm
God.
with you. No, you don't understand. When I say I'm with you, it's I'm with you.
Oh man, yeah. Some people are better off just being themselves than not doing weird voices in their movies. Adam Sandler.
My blue cousin Vinny.
My blue cousin Vinny. Oh my God.
Vinny's Blue Heaven.
That's a great poster right there. Marissa Tomei and Joe Pesci on the lawnmower. Just
or you could do a movie where this is just because we're getting, let's jump the shark a little bit here. What if Vincent
let's jump the shark. Gotcha.
Now let's jump the shark. What if Vincent LaGuardia Gambini died and his ghost has to come back and help win the case?
What?
Direct to DVD. Direct to
DVD.
My cousin Ghost. Like what?
My dead cousin Vinny. And
Ghost lawyer.
Ralph's a lawyer now. And he's got to get guided by the ghost of Gambini.
It's like the worst 1987 Disney movie Disney's ever made.
It totally is. It's
Ghost
like
lawyer.
What were those movies? Oh God, Still Not Quite Human, but the son who's like a robot.
Human. Yeah, Alan
Not
Thicke.
Quite Human. Yeah, Alan Thicke. Yeah. Oh my God, Bobby's shaking his head. No,
Bobby, there used to be a thing called the Disney Channel. All right, and
they made original movies that were always interesting.
God, they were awful. Oh,
they were so bad. They didn't get together until like the 90s with the original movies.
But don't you dare come after my Mr. Boogity.
Don't even get me started on those.
Do that again.
Don't even get me started on the 90s Disney Channel original movies.
Drink, Cadet Kelly, Johnny Tsunami, Halloween Town, all
Johnny
classic.
Tsunami, good Lord.
All
Smart
classic.
House with Katie Seagal, Skepticism Planet Weird, Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, skateboarding movie with Eric Von Detten.
Yep.
So is
How
there
about the Ghost and Cousin Vinny?
the Ghost and Cousin Vinny?
Would you just turn this into a Don Knotts remake? Like, what the-
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
God,
a
I wish we
lawyer
could
over
see.
there.
Yeah, I wish we could see
Oh my
him
God.
either defending Don Knotts or prosecuting against Don Knotts. You know what I mean? Something. I wish we could have Don Knotts play every other role in this movie.
And then what if we had the greatest, lawyers doing battle? So Marissa Tomei is the judge.
Okay.
Vinny Bag of Donuts is the, defendant, or the
Defense attorney.
defendant's attorney, and freaking liar Jim Carrey.
Oh,
Just throw it all in there.
Yeah.
And Better Call Saul as his co-counsel.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's got potential, I guess, in a certain realm of lawyer 90s comedy crossovers.
AKA that's how Chris kind of
Hey, I just pitched one way worse than that. So
Dude,
what if
I
Joe
would
Pesci
love-
was a ghost? Just because I think
I would love.
how do we
for
put
J-
Joe Pesci in a fish out of water situation? Like if he goes back to New York, then he's not really that much of a fish out of water, and that's sort of what the brand is,
Mhm.
And I
Well,
always
that's a-
pitch
that's a-
Hawaiian style, so I'm gonna try and avoid that.
I think no matter what, I mean, Mafia could be anywhere. I mean, you could have him in a different
Witness protection. Witness protection.
Oh, right there.
bad.
That's another. See, I don't think that matched with the battling lawyer one, but I think if you did a separate movie, that would have been cool because they have to go him and Marissa
Witness
Tomei.
protection somewhere.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
kind of turning into Mom Pa Kettle here, but it
And My
does
Blue
work.
Heaven in a way.
You kind of did, but that would actually be kind of funny. Like them, imagine them going to Iowa. Like the script for richer or poorer could have been a great My Cousin Vinny's. Let's pull like a Miramax Hellraiser and just put Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei in it. That would have been great.
I mean, I feel like if you put Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei in anything, it's gonna be great. So it's not that out of the realm of possibility.
Like, why didn't we? I really want to know why we didn't get them as another team. And the only thing I could think of was that backlash that Marissa Tomei unfortunately got from winning the Oscar. Like Hollywood really kind of put their thumbs up at her.
Well, they're kind of
winning
like
the
that every
Oscar.
time anyone wins an Oscar. If you think about it, like it's like, oh, they got their acclaim. Like I don't want them. It's like people,
Yeah.
like directors, they want to direct an actor to an Oscar more than they want one for themselves. In some ways, sometimes, and it's like once they've won that Oscar, it's like, oh, well, she's done her like. You're not going to top like, Forrest Gump for Tom Hanks. You're not going to top The Blind Side for Sandra Bullock. You're not going to top whatever for whoever, F. Marie Abraham syndrome, people have talked about it for a long time. It's real. You win your Oscar and then it's like your old hat. Okay, well, we want to get someone else who hasn't won an Oscar yet.
Oh my God, give me F.
that
Marie.
thing for them.
Big thing. And once they get the Oscar, they're no longer the next big thing. Like they're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
They are looking for like ownership of discovering this person who won the Oscar.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I directed them to their
I'm
only
responsible
Oscar.
for this person. Like I
Yeah.
found this person and nobody else can take that away from me. It's kind
It's
of
a
what
weird
they're-
thing, but a lot of
Give me F. Marie Abraham as the judge. There we go.
Oh, that's interesting. How do you
Ugh.
get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. I just had to make a little Last Action Hero reference. Also, I have to make a reference to the famous Jet Jackson, as per our buddy Sean Gold reminded me in the chat. I left out the fucking hottest fire of Disney Channel 90s anything. The famous Jet Jackson. If you don't know, you better ask somebody because it's like the coolest show of all time.
R.I.P. Jet Jackson. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sadly, he was taken from us too soon. But is there anything else that we haven't thrown in here yet that we need to? What Gold's Code says he's standing by his pitch, by the way. Did I miss your pitch up in there? There's a lot going on. Oh, here we go. Sequel, Gold's Code pitch. Well, here. Sequel, Joey Gallo comes back for revenge against Vinny, who's been using his name and ruining his reputation. That's interesting, actually. There's the ghost. There's the ghost. The ghost of Joey Gallo. That's not bad.
The ghost.
Yes,
The ghost
yes.
versus cousin Vinny.
Yes,
You get
ghost
everything
lawyer.
in there, yeah.
Ghost lawyer, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think, maybe Ox Bonafonte was right. Maybe there's not as much gas left in this one as we thought. But if there is, I think we found a few ways in. I think the Judge Vito thing works for me. A little bit of everyone's ideas kind of worked for me, honestly. I think if you mash that up somewhere in there, there's at least a good 90-minute movie, if not several. And if not, then maybe a mini series.
But there's a fantastic 70-minute movie.
Yeah, this is a 70-minute movie that'll fucking rock.
We'll just go
the
back to
world.
60 minutes. We'll just go back
Yeah.
to 60 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, with commercials, it's 90. On the USA Network, it's easily 90. Air it on TBS and bring back Dinner and a Movie. It'll be 95.
Oh,
Beans and
Dinner
coffee.
movie.
Beans and coffee.
Dinner and a Movie was great. So before we wrap it up, do you guys have anything going on you want to let people know about? Are we closer to the Still Fabulous podcast or some live Rick Barth shows?
Now that the holidays are over, I can go focus on that instead.
Awesome. Well, we are definitely looking forward to you launching this show. I know you have some impressive names lined up, and I can't wait to hear all the deets on their cool stuff. What about you, Mickey? Anything? Anything going on in your corner of the world, Nikki?
Right now, the only thing I'm looking forward to is Saturday, the Cobra Kai discussion.
That is going to be a fun one.
Right here on Fandom Spotlight.
That's right, folks. You know where, you know when. Ian, anything new with you? Any plays or scripts or finished films coming up?
Not right now. Just recently I did a article on great collegiate kickboxers for Fandom Spotlight. So I highly recommend you read that article if you want to know what it's like for a 50-year-old to play a college freshman. So do enjoy that. It's a fantastic movie.
Oh, it is a flawless film. It is perfect in every way.
Filled with college kickboxers who don't go to college. They don't go to college classes at all, but they sure whoop some butt.
That's true. That is true. They should be teaching at the college, really, but instead they're teaching all of us at home.
And our hearts.
They go to the dorm, work, and karate class.
That's it.
That's what I imagined college was going to be like when I was a kid in the 90s.
That was my college. No.
That's what I imagined it would always be like. It's no wonder when I got there, it was so fucking disappointing.
The occasional date in there, too.
Well, for Mac Daddy Mickey Torres.
To a movie, right? Yeah.
Any rate, you Fandom fans might want to tune into Saturdays, like Mickey already mentioned, Cobra Kai season 4 review panel featuring myself, the Mac Daddy Mickey Torres himself, our good friend Melanie Mullen, and director Paul Davis. That should make for a pretty awesome time in the Valley of Karate. And of course, we want you to tune in next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we think joy, happy thoughts for our Demolition Man episode.
Yeah.
As always, yeah, that's right. What's your boggle, sir? As always, if there's a particular movie or TV
John Spartan. Oh man, they let anybody in the future.
John
3
Spartan,
shells.
find one
What's this 3 shells?
He doesn't know the 3 shells.
Rob Schneider's finest film. Any rate, if there's a particular movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode, let us know in the comment section on YouTube. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Rick Barth on the Line, Fandom Spotlight, the Hollow 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. And keep your eyes and ears on the lookout for the Still Fabulous podcast. And until then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.